what are the common mistakes made in advocacy? I'll turn to Carl first for this one.
Well, I have a list of 5 that I'd noted down. The first is not looking at the person you're speaking to, whether that's the judge or the jury or the witness. It's very easy if you're reading off a piece of paper or looking at a statement to forget that actually advocacy is about interaction. And you get a lot from looking not only at the witness and listening to what they're saying, but also seeing how they react. Many times you'll see a witness sort of look around the room or look over to somebody in the public gallery, or if it's a police officer, look over at somebody else, the officer in the case. And sometimes you can pick up on things which you would have missed if you hadn't been observing carefully. So that was the first thing. The second thing is not listening to what's being said to you. Sometimes you have a case theory and you are extremely focused on putting your case in the way that you have prepared. And as Alice said, sometimes that goes out the window because a witness says something or the judge makes a comment, and all of a sudden you've got to be able to adapt. And if you're not listening, if you're just focusing on what you want to do, you'll miss something. The third thing is speaking too quickly. It's very common, particularly when you're new, particularly if you're nervous, and all of us get nervous. Even I get nervous. You still get the butterflies in the stomach. We know that's excitement now rather than nerves. But speaking too quickly, not allowing the tribunal, whether it's a judge or the jury, to take in what you are saying. Because if you speak too quickly, you trip up, your brain moves very quickly, and you will miss something. Speaking slower, speaking slowly allows you time to focus. And if you've missed something, you find that your brain catches up. The fourth one that I've got is forgetting that you need different styles depending on who you are speaking to. For me, I'm primarily a trial lawyer. And if I'm speaking to a judge in a legal argument or in answer to a question, I have to be very formal. The judge wants me to be technical and to the point. But when I'm speaking to the jury in a closing speech, for example, I try and be a bit more conversational, try and be a bit more down to earth, because you're trying to gain a connection with the person you're speaking to. And that moves over to the client when you're taking instructions either at court or beforehand. And then the final thing that I've got here is trying to be somebody you aren't. And whether that's putting on an accent that's not really for you because you think you need to sound posh in front of the jury, or trying to use big words when actually that's not really your thing. If you are yourself, then you're going to be comfortable. There is no one perfect style of advocacy. Everybody is different. You can read as many books as you want to, but when it comes down to it, you will work out what works for you, and that's because you are unique. So trying to be somebody you aren't will very quickly trip you up.
Great pointers there. You've covered a lot of ground, so I don't know if there's much to add, but Jamie, do you have an answer to this question? What are the common mistakes in advocacy?
Well, they've been covered comprehensively, and what I was going to say was very much about the first few points, particularly in relation to the fact that advocacy is a conversation, not a speech. Even though you're the only one speaking, you actually want to engage with the person that you're talking to. So you need to listen and look at them and be receptive as well. You may make a point and you'll know it's not gone down well just by body language or something, very minor change in approach, or the judge just stops writing because they just think I've heard enough of this, or whatever it is. So you just need to be receptive to that. But those points have been covered. So the only thing I would add is the old obvious point, which is all good advocacy starts with good preparation. And I'm sure we will have all been in court and seen people who are good advocates. They're engaging, but they don't know their brief and they don't know where the relevant page number is to take the judge to, or whatever it is. And it all starts to unravel pretty quickly, because it doesn't matter how good an advocate you are, you can't know what's on page 154 of the trial bundle if you have never looked at it before. It's that simple.